Hey, what's up, guys? Just gonna kind of talk about this controversy we got going on. You'll just see some Golem in the background. I have ML Zerato in here if you guys are interested in seeing how he does in Golem. Yeah, he's got a book on, but whatever. It's a plus 30, so it gives him some stats. So what I'm thinking, like obviously their announcement yesterday just kind of split the community in half. And I don't know where I'm sitting at on the entire thing. I do think they needed to do something. Like, if you saw my video yesterday, I was pretty upset when I pulled, 2 4-star dupes. And, that's mainly stems from, how much effort goes into getting the Galaxy bookmarks to do a summon just to get shit on. That frustrates me more than pulling a dupe. It's the amount of effort that went into to even do that pull in the first place. That's where more of the frustration came from, not necessarily the dupe in itself. Yes, that added to the annoyance, but it wasn't the main cause. So I guess we'll just go, the main different things was a ceiling on pulls, which I think can be a good thing. The main argument people are going with and why it's not a good thing is because everyone will have every unit. But honestly, if you look at it, the whales already have every unit anyways. I mean, they might be missing a couple MLs, they might be missing a couple of natural 5-stars, but most of them have everything, the ones that really whale. So it's not going to change too much in that regard, I don't think. This is my opinion. You can have a different opinion, that's okay. But for people that are free to play and save their bookmarks, if a unit comes out that they really want, then they can spend all their currency on that unit and be guaranteed to get it. Me personally, I spent quite a bit of money when Tam's banner was live, and I had a lot saved up on top of that. So I wanted Tam, and I went in over 1,500 bookmarks to try and get Tam, and I didn't get her. So I was pretty happy when I got her for free from a ticket, obviously. But, it wouldn't have been an issue if it was how they're proposing, if there was a ceiling on every banner. All that really helps with is the people that go in really deep and don't pull the unit. Some people get lucky, that, for instance, I pulled that Charlotte in 3 pulls. But then I go pull for Tamarin, and I didn't pull her in I don't even know, 300, 350, 400 pulls. It didn't pull her. Pulled 5 Idol's Cheers, I think. And I pulled a Sigret and an Aramento, which weren't even on the banner. I think with limited banners, it's only that unit on there and they put a cap on it. You can't pull other units out of the pool. So I think maybe just releasing them like that. I don't really know how my stance is on that. I don't think a ceiling is necessarily a bad thing. It just helps out the people that save. The whales are going to get the unit anyways, even if there's a cap or not. Some whales, they triple S every unit, and it doesn't matter if there's a cap on it or not, that just happens anyways. So I think that just helps out people that save. So I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing. I'll talk about MLs, like putting MLs in the regular Covenant summons. I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. It doesn't really change much. One of my guildmates did some math, and it just really depends on their pull rate. You could probably imagine that ML units in the regular Covenant pool will have a lower rate than they would, outside of the pool, in their own pool, obviously, because you only pull those there. So for simplicity reasons, let's just say you have a 3% chance to pull this one 3-star unit, but then you have half of that to pull an ML 3-star unit. Makes sense? Something like that. They're probably gonna, I'm not gonna sit here and delve into math. I'm not a big thinker, and I don't like doing math. Just absolutely have to. But obviously the rates are gonna be less, so it just depends on what they set those rates at, and then you'll probably be able to do like, okay, well, 120 summons is a Moonlight summon, so you can kind of like equate those to each other based on their pull rate, if that makes sense. As for nerfs and rebalances, personally, I don't agree with nerfs at all, ever. I think they should buff units to bring them on the same level instead of nerfing stuff. It's, I feel like it's just better that way. Kind of like what they did with Corvus. They brought him on the level of, you know, some really good units. They didn't have to nerf anything to make him good. They just made him better. And I think they could just continue doing that. There's no reason to really nerf units. As for whole, like, everyone wants to see Crimson Armin get nerfed, but you guys got to realize Crimson Armin goes away, then everybody just runs cleaves again. Crimson Armin is the only unit really in the game that stops people from cleaving. Like, you kind of have Vildred now too, and you kind of have Corvus now, and you know, you can do your really tanky teams, but some really tanky teams, if they get defense broken, like by ML Zerato here, then they could still get cleaved. You know? Crimson Armin is really the only unit in the game that really puts a stop to cleaves. And I don't think they should nerf Crimson Armin. I think they should add more units that are like her. Or sets that are like her. I don't know why my connection is so bad. Sets that do what she does, like grant a barrier or grant damage reduction, or, you know, because defense break is a thing. You need something to mitigate against defense breaks. And Crimson Armin's passive and Arius mitigates against defense break. There's really no other unit in the game that does that. I mean, you can level up Adamant Shield. If you don't have a plus 30 Adamant Shield and you complain about Crimson Armin because you don't have Crimson Armin, then you're not really putting forth the effort, you know, to replace her. Just run 2 Knights on your team, run 1 with Arius and 1 with Adamant Shield on your defense, and it's not quite Crimson Armin, but it does pretty much the same thing. If you are losing a lot to cleaves, that's one way for you to solve that. But we need more options than Adamant Shield. It just doesn't do enough. We need more units that provide a defense buff. Really the only one is Crow. I mean, no one's going to run Lulika on their defense. No one's going to run Elson or Doris. Like, we just need more viable units to give a defense buff. You know, that really puts the emphasis on strips, but strips are always going to be really prevalent in the meta. There's a lot of units that buff. Like, we got Deanne, we got Crimson Armin, Angelica. Pretty much, like, all these units, they give immunity, and, you know, we got Crow and Cecilia, Fallen Cecilia. I mean, so strips are kind of necessary. You kind of need a unit that strips. If you missed out on getting Ayelas, it really sucks. But where I stand with that is I don't think they should nerf units. If something's completely busted, then yeah, bring it down a little bit. But I don't think they should nerf them into the ground to where they're unusable. I think they should just not sell counters to that unit in the summons, because I think that's bullshit. But I think they should bring up some more accessible units. They don't have to be on the same level as those ML5s, but they need to be able to contend. Like, if they have better gear than that ML5, they should be able to beat them or compete with them just fine. That's how I think it should be. So that's my opinion. I don't, like, what do you guys think? Do you like the change? Do you not like the change? What are some suggestions you have? I'm really on the fence about the entire thing. I'm not really swayed one way or the other. I enjoy the game for different reasons, so I'll probably continue playing it no matter what. They have to do something crazy drastic to get me to stop playing it. But as of where the game's at right now, I like the game. I think it was a little bit funner when I started playing back in January, and in February it's kind of gone downhill. And that's mainly because of Mystic packs. And, like, the Mystic Summon wasn't too big of a deal, but when they started selling Mystic packs, that's when it became an issue. You know, it gave people more access to some OP units, but I think they used it as a cash grab. And that's really where the game started going downhill. And hopefully they fix that. But yeah. that's my thoughts on the whole thing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.